Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Today we're just going to take a quick look at the news. The world's first waste-to-energy crypto mine has been built, and it is being built by PRTI and Standard American Mining. Waste-to-energy cryptocurrency mine is a first, I believe. We've had renewable energy projects powering mines before. We have Hydro Miner in Austria, recently had an ICO. Environ is another one that want to use wind and renewable energy to power their crypto mines. So it seems to be flavour of the month: renewable energy. Power Ledger, We Power ICO coming next year, and Acetron Energy in Australia trying to build a solar plant as well. So essentially everybody wants to mine cryptocurrency now, and they want a cheaper, easier way of getting the power to do so, because paying the government and related companies for power costs is obviously not economically feasible. So renewable energy is where it's going to go, and I thought this was an interesting concept, using waste to energy, biofuels if you like, to give you the electricity to mine crypto. So something to keep an eye on for the future. Elsewhere in the news, Joseph Stiglitz, Nobel laureate and professor in economics, says Bitcoin ought to be outlawed. His only reason for this is that he thinks that all currency should be government controlled. So he wants Bitcoin to be either controlled or outlawed. Of course, that defeats the purpose of the currency itself. The whole point is decentralization, which means no one point of control, no controlling element, which makes it attractive to investors because they know that it can't be manipulated. Now, the other thing that I would say here is he also mentions tulip mania in the video, and the fact that people are buying Bitcoin based solely on the perception of its future value. Now, I would argue that that's why people invest in a lot of things, stocks and shares, gold, etc., because they believe that the future value is going to be higher, and it certainly will. And the same thing is true of all these assets, because it will be higher against the US dollar, because effectively the US dollar now is pretty much worthless. They're churning out, printing billions of dollars per day to keep the economy afloat. The economy is unsustainable, the debt is unsustainable, it's in the hundreds of trillions now, and there's no way of ever paying it off. So if you want to look at a failed economic model or something that should be outlawed, I would look at fiat currency, because Bitcoin and cryptos are certainly going to be the way forward. Another note about Stiglitz: he was a very big proponent of Venezuela's economic policies, as we can see here. Venezuela, of course, now a complete basket case, so it's something to bear in mind. Another note about Wahby: I've talked about them quite a lot. I did a review on them a couple of days ago. Wahby sold out almost in the first day. Allocations were $605 for the first day per person. It worked out about 2,422 Wahby tokens per person, and the day two allowance was gradually falling as the day went on. I believe it was around something like $130 on the second day, and then sold out. So the ICO was very popular. I thought it was a good, innovative and fair way of doing an ICO, and I hope more companies follow suit. I don't like ICOs having private sales for big investors. I don't like ICOs doing big bonuses for big investors. I don't like that, because it's a complete antithesis of what cryptocurrency is all about. We're looking towards a decentralized model, so why are you trying to give these massive whales and people with a lot of money the lion's share? To me, that's only greed. And yeah, you can advise these ICOs and you can talk about them on your channel, and but that's greed, guys. It's not what cryptocurrency is all about. It's not what I'm in the space for. I like to make money, certainly, and I'm sure you do as well, but it's not what I'm doing in the crypto space. I like the fact that we're taking back control of our money, and now the more of these ICOs that are run by these greedy people to basically enrich some of their friends and already rich entities and people, the less the meaning. Well, the more the meaning gets distorted. I think that it sets a dangerous precedent when you have a private sale or a you know, in a closed pre-sale, and you sell all your tokens at the pre-sale, just like Pareto, I believe, just did. They've now scrapped the general crowd sale. I think it sets a dangerous precedent, and one that I don't like to see within crypto. I think it's not about greed, you know. It's about enfranchising people and making people more free to do what they want with their money, and giving access to services that have been denied to billions of people around the world, you know, such as banking services and the freedom to transfer money and use their money as they want. So I don't like to see this this greed of large whales coming in and rich people coming in and buying these ICOs. That's not what it's all about. ICOs are a way to raise funds, gain investment capital, and give people, small investors, a chance to get in. That's what it's all about. You know, if you're not an accredited investor, if you're just an average Joe sitting at your computer, then you can dabble in ICOs. You can take part. It's being part of the community. It's what it's all about. You know, if you have private sales and you sell all your tokens to these guys that are already rich and probably already accredited investors and probably already able to take part in initial public offerings on the stock exchange and so forth, it defeats the point of it. Anyway, rant over. But well done to Wahby. They did the right thing, and I'd like to see more of that. Other news, Bitcoin futures trading is coming to Nasdaq, the world's second largest stock exchange. If you don't know what futures are, basically you're gambling on the future price of the asset, in this case Bitcoin, and what you do is you agree on a price that you're going to buy it at a certain point in the future. So say 6 months in the future, you think Bitcoin's going to be worth $20,000. You say, yep, I'll buy it for that price. And you can win or lose. The seller can win or lose, but you have to agree between buyer and seller to pay a margin, which is usually from 2 to 20%. And both of you put in the same amount. And what happens is whoever walks away loses their margin. And if they stick to the deal, then the buyer or seller can benefit when the time arrives, whether it's up or down, the asset's valued at more or valued at less. So that's essentially how it works. It was a financial innovation by the Dutch. Now, that happened in the 17th century, I believe, and during Tulip Mania, one of the things that caused the increase in speculation on tulips was, of course, the tulip futures. And this is interesting that as Bitcoin goes through a parabolic trend, all these stock markets and financial institutions get interested in issuing futures. So it's something to bear in mind, that if there is any parallels with Tulip Mania in the mid-1600s, then futures were at least a part of that. So looking at the markets today, Bitcoin suffered last night. It retracted from about 11,400 down to 9,900. There was $40 billion wiped off the entire market cap, and it's coming back. As you can see, it's recovering. Quite a lot of people would have been buying on the dips. I don't think we'll see many big dips now, guys. I think that we're at the stage where there's enough people interested in Bitcoin now to sustain any dips. So, you know, there won't be massive panics like there was before. Again, I'm not, you know, I'm not Mystic Meg. I don't have a crystal ball. I say it every time, but there's so many people interested in sitting on the sidelines wishing they'd got in earlier that that'll fill the gap, you know. So if there is a retraction, I think it's only going to be, you know, maybe 10% perhaps, rather than the big drops of 30-40% we've seen in the past. I hope I'm wrong, because I'll take the opportunity to buy more, but I think we're now on a sort of steady upward tick as far as Bitcoin is concerned. The only other thing I want to mention about the markets this morning, I won't bore you by going through them all, is Dash. Still a good bargain, even at $800, guys. It's still, you know, it's a solid currency. It's got a lot of upward potential for the future, and it's interesting to see that it doesn't seem to have been affected. Everything else is in the red near enough. There are one or two that are clinging on, but you know, some take. I mean, Cardano went up 190% or something. So yeah, of course it's got to correct. You know, it's just economics, isn't it? And if we look at the rest, there aren't many there that are going in the green. It all seems to be red. All seems to be red. So very depressing if you're an alt bag holder. You probably will feel like jumping out a window this morning, but I would say just hang on, guys. It always swings and roundabouts, peaks and troughs. It will come back. Now would be a time, if you like your alts, to be sniffing around some of the double figure reds to position yourself for the future, because I think as the market cap grows, altcoins will grow along with Bitcoin. So if you pick good ones accordingly, then you will benefit. And now might be a time to get your position in some of them. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to upload my Kanya ICO review a bit later on. Kanya is a very interesting ICO project. It's basically decentralizing services. So if you need a gardener or a painter or a plumber, you can find them on the Kanya app, and they're going to introduce this worldwide. It's already available in Australia, but they're going to apply blockchain technology to it. Sorry, I'm getting my tongue twisted this morning. So it's very interesting, so please stay tuned. You can click on the bell notification and subscribe, and you'll get all my notifications when I release my videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later on. Cheers.